Anthony Monjaro!
I love him. He had fantastic.
Hello everyone, mothers, brothers, sisters, brothers, aunties, uncles, friends, families, foes, everyone.
Forgot infants, baby.
Infants, you know what I mean?
Infants.
This is HD. I know you're watching in high definition, but listen, this is not high definition. This is Heroes Diary. It shows that celebrates heroes from their journey from A to B. And hey, as always, my name is Keni Lola. But guess who I've got in here today?
Anthony Monjaro!
Come on, Monji! Monji!
Yes!
Monji!
Keni Ogunlola.
Monji!
The man, you know, funny enough, I've known you for so long.
Wow.
And I just found out recently that you're a twin.
How, man?
I
Who
know,
else
I
bears...
have never met your twin before.
Monji, in Nigeria, who else bears Kenny? If it's not Kehinde.
Yeah, but you see, you go by name Kenny. Kehinde and Kenny. I'm not the same thing.
No, but in Nigeria, if you're twin,
Hey,
you gotta be Kenny. You gotta know how the thing roll. It's Kenny, tie is tie, and all that kind of stuff, man. As always, we got our special.
And a beauty queen in the house
Oh,
as well.
shit. Hey, too fine. Too fine. Come on, Rose Peter Graham. Let's roll it.
Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Rose Peter Graham on Ben Television, live, Rose on all sides. And I have with me the most popular presidential candidate, yes, in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Peter Obi, who is the presidential candidate for the Labour Party. Thank you very much, sir, for joining me. Thank you. It's so good to have you. So now, the history of Benin, what is the government doing in terms of keeping this, having the proper documentation of this history and teaching generations to come about who they are?
First of all, we've inaugurated culture clubs in secondary schools. Back in secondary schools, that was what this administration did last year. I
have with me the executive director for Miss Adama Pageant International, Rufina Adibora. How you doing, darling?
Thank you.
Elegant as ever. That Nigeria is now ready for a new breed, a new blood. And I'm so pleased to have him here with me today in the studio. How you doing, sir?
Very well. Thank you to have me.
Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
It is wrong. It should be condemned. It is unacceptable. It is unimaginable that blacks will be attacking blacks, killing blacks, and enjoy doing it. It is gruesome. It is upsetting. I am completely livid. And every South African who is worth his onions should come out and condemn this. We say shame, shame, shame on you. You have to stop this. How you doing, guys?
We're doing great. Hey, 10 years ago, you reminded me, you interviewed me, right?
Yes, I did.
And I because I've been interviewed so many times, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But I remember going to your station.
The Nigerian Television Authority.
That's right.
The NTA.
I remember going there, but I don't remember much because I had so many interviews around that time. So
I know.
Forgive my.
And that brings
okay,
up
it was
on-
during the movie.
Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah.
It was during, when Obi Omeleye
Produced
produced the movie, The Flight to Abuja.
Last flight.
The last flight
What
to
was the
Abuja.
first flight?
Yeah,
I've seen maybe not one. But
I'm
it's
sure
okay.
Obi is working on it.
It was really good studied. So I had an interview with the producer and some of the artists, and that was when we talked. Okay. And then he was a really fine gentleman then.
Oh, shit.
Now, up to now. You even look younger.
Oh, my God. All right.
He came to one of
Sparky.
He came to one.
It's sparkling.
He came to one of the events we organized, and Senator Itagiwa was also at the event.
Okay.
And I was so busy. I didn't say I'm not sure I attended properly to you.
You didn't.
Yes, and then maybe
I would
then he
have
left.
remembered.
And before 10 years, I still remember that I owe him an apology.
Oh,
and that was the first thing
apologize.
I said.
Apologize the apology now. Apologize the apology.
He's demanded, not me.
Apologize the apology.
I apologize.
Oh shit.
Accepted.
And I'm happy that
you.
you created this platform for this.
Bring it. Thank you.
For that.
Nah, seriously, guys, I'm bringing it to this note. So today in house we got superstar broadcaster, presenter, journalist. What else? What else? Blogger, producer, every
event planner, MC.
Too many everywhere. This man has been with biggest African dignitaries, on the oldest running TV network in the Black African TV network in the UK. We have to have that because we have to have because that's very important. Nah. But seriously, ma'am, listen. How come?
Okay, I'll tell you this. You know something, as when I was growing up in the 80s, as a little girl, I was watching the NTA, and then you had Seneo Brown and Ruth Benamesia. They were delivering the news. I know a lot of mothers and housewives were watching them because
a lot of our viewers were not born by that time. They were even born.
Okay, wait. I'm not 95 years old. I'm still very young.
94. 94.5.
Okay, yeah. When I was really little, maybe it was the early 90s. I can't remember. But I was looking up to them, and I said to myself, I want to be a broadcaster. I want to be like them.
Okay.
And you know what? I came from a disadvantaged background. I grew up in one of the worst police barracks you can ever imagine.
Your parents were
my father was a police officer. Mm-hmm. And then I said to myself, I want to do this. Because for most of us growing up, like once you're done with primary school, some don't bother about secondary school.
Yeah.
And once you even go to secondary school, you drop out.
Right.
You don't go further. And then I had this dream, and I said, I'm going to get there. So it wasn't easy, but then I did. Yeah.
What was your mother? What did she do?
Oh, my mom was a trader.
Okay, so did they support your dream of being a presenter?
Sometimes they just looked at me and said, she's crazy. She's a tomboy. Because once we're done in the house, once everyone wakes up, you say your prayers, and I'm out there already, like going to fetch water for people and help people to carry stuff. And then I was getting little money, and then I was saving. And then also my mom did part of the petty trading. Like when I tell people, I said, I sold fufu, I sold fish.
Wow.
I sold nylon bag in Yaba markets.
Wow.
And they don't believe me. I was telling a friend the other day that I was actually selling minerals, beer, Gouda to prisoners.
Wow.
That was at the Panti police station. There's Panti police station, and then there's Adekule police station on the other side. That I would walk in there and I would sell bread.
Wow.
And, all these things to the prisoners.
What was the goal then?
But then I still had it in mind. I still said to myself, I want to be on television. But because then, NTA was the ultimate. But then when I started my program on the NTA, I met Zebujiro, and Zebujiro said, Rose, why don't you become an actress? Actresses are bigger.
Yeah.
Why do you want to stay with television? I said, it is my dream, and I love to talk. I love to interview people. He said, are you sure that is what you want to do? I said, that is what I pretty much want to do. And after service, after university, I went to University of Lagos. Actually studied
great test, Takokai. Great test, Takokai. Greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest.
You know what?
Of the greatest Takokai.
I want to say
the
greatest of the greatest.
Of the greatest Takokai. See that? They don't know it.
We came back here and we studied.
Greatest Takokai.
Yeah.
Hey, greatest Takokai. Chop it. As a matter of fact, conk it. Guy, just stand aside.
I give it to people who actually studied in Nigeria because it's like there's a force against people who actually want to graduate.
Yes.
Here they try to help you.
Yes.
They want you to graduate.
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, they don't want you to graduate.
You have to. And you know what a friend of mine said? Apologies.
Yeah.
You know what a friend of mine said?
Yeah.
He was working with the NDLEA. And he said to me, Rose, look at how you have tried from your secondary school, only care girls secondary school, some wacky secondary school.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy that one of our seniors, she's a broadcaster on Channels Television, the pretty light-skinned, lady.
Like you.
And then she did so well because she was like a senior. In Onike, on Iwaya Road. So it was like, once you're done with this school, it's like, there's no future or whatever. But then I got into Unilag. And then right in my room was the daughter of the IG of police.
Wow.
Yes, No, it wasn't Tafawa. No, actually,
That's the one I remember.
no, talking about Tafawa Balogun. The irony was that I was in the same camp in Abuja with Tafawa Balogun's daughter. Of course,
You're
you
just
see
meeting big
yeah.
people.
You see the officers bringing her back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, and I started from nowhere.
Wow.
And then you now found out that you now ended up with these people. So he was saying that, look at you, your secondary school and your primary school was wacky. But my wife keeps forcing me to pay so much money for expensive primary and secondary school, private schools. And then at the end of the day, my children are not able to get into Unilag.
Wow.
You understand? Of course, you know that. You know that. We like to say that's the
connection,
top.
that kind of
You
thing.
know,
And
the top.
Kenny made it
you
in
know,
there.
We are.
So,
We
but
made
yeah.
it. We made it.
Yes, we made it in
We
there,
made it,
and it
we
was
made it.
fun. It was when the BC,
It
what's there? Omotola.
Omotola.
Exactly.
The Omotola.
It was
The VC at the time.
I
the
mean,
vice
that
chancellor
was
at the time.
the VC. But the present VC now, Tony, I've forgotten the other
no
name.
clue
He's
what's going on
he's
there.
a fine gentleman too.
It's in ages.
He's a fine
It's
gentleman.
ages, yeah. But listen, Rose.
Okay.
You. There's one thing you touched on earlier that
Yeah.
I thought really will impact on a lot of people.
Yeah.
Your experiences growing up, the
Yeah.
things you had to do. You said you had to sell.
Yeah. I was selling
you had to-
fufu. I sold fish. I sold milk. I sold bread. You know, I put the tray on my
essentially
head.
for a lot of people because for a lot of millennials and all that, they probably
Yeah.
don't understand that. But that's like
No, they
really
don't.
getting on the street and hawking stuff
Yeah.
on
That's
your head
like- that-
Yeah.
and calling people to buy this thing
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
hot Nigerian sun.
And it
Yes.
is hot.
Hot sun,
Yeah.
It's
dripping
hot.
of sweat and
I
all
feel
that.
for those who actually stay.
Yeah.
I just want to know what was the motivation for it? Was it just the entrepreneur in you, entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurial kind of.
You.
We get it. We get what you're saying.
Or you just
I like
hustling
that.
for
We
money?
understand it.
No. For me, I want to make something out of my life. I want to do something. Like I said, where I grew up, things weren't easy, and a lot of people give up easily. And one way or the other, when I wanted to like really go to school and get my WAEC and GC, my parents just didn't have the money.
Oh, so you did it because you want to actually pay for your...
No.
your
Yeah, I wanted to go to school. So then I was, of course, saving, you know. But then things were tough. Like there was a day my mom was the money she was going to use to buy, you know, stuff so that she could sell and make profit.
Yeah.
She told me, she looked at me and, okay, let me just tell you this quickly. In school then, for the SSC, those who haven't paid, they will be separated and heavily flogged. So I was always in it.
So that was a motivation.
So that was in secondary school. They were always flogging me.
You didn't want to be
Always
flogged.
flogging me. So guess what? The numbers were reducing. Maybe from like 30 to like 25 to 15 because their parents were now paying.
Yeah.
You know, we got up to 3.
Wow.
My parents were unable to pay. It was that bad.
So you're one of these.
You imagine the amount of cane that I suffered till I was 3, until my mom now told me she took all the money from our markets, you know, and she said, you see, this is all I have. I'm going to put it down.
Wow.
I said, like, I hope I'm not going to cry here. But then she said, I'm going to put this down. I don't know
African
what am I
mother.
going to do, you know. And she said, you see, I'm the only one doing this for you, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, thank you, Mom.
When I got fine, tissue.
You know, so
Can we tissue it here?
no, I still remember. And then she
that-
followed
that's
me
deep.
to school. She followed me to school, and then she paid. It was like 3,000 naira.
Wow.
Yeah,
Essentially
3,000
now,
something.
that's,
You know what?
like, that's less
Yeah.
than what?
That's
And
less
did
like
you-
3
eight
pounds.
pounds?
3
Did you-
pounds.
did
What
you-
do you mean,
Kenny?
That's like 3 pounds or like 4 pounds.
Kenny, did you watch that video about that little girl, Precious, who actually said to go flog me?
Yes,
It's okay.
yeah, you go tired.
That's-
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
No, you didn't watch it. It went
It went
viral.
viral.
Yeah.
It was a little girl who was about what?
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
about
yeah. She was
6, 7?
like, because she was going to school. There was she couldn't pay for the school fees or
So they sent
something.
her home.
So they were always beating her.
No.
And they
She said they should flog me instead. I will
yeah.
stay. But what they said, I did them flog me instead.
and-
It went viral. I think.
and
a lot
then
of
she
people-
said,
Just
yeah,
to be
there's a
clear,
lot of
because a lot of
people-
our viewers don't know what flog.
Okay,
I'm
They'll paddle
the young
you.
boy here. You get it. I'm the young guy, so I just gotta.
Okay.
Kenny.
They will paddle you with a stick.
Bulala you.
They'll beat you. They'll say, no, there's a word.
no,
Wato. They're going to give you
No, that was
no
not
smack.
smack.
It wasn't smack. It's not a
It wasn't
smack.
smart.
It's spanking.
It was
spanking.
caning.
Oh my god.
You know,
Nah, I remember that, man. I remember
so
that.
I mean, it's what we do back there.
Yeah.
You know, of course, you can't do such a thing here. You know, so then she paid for it, and I was able to write my SSC, and then at the end of the day, I did my jam, and then I got into Unilag.
But why do schools do that? Why would they beat a child that really I mean, why? I don't understand that.
I would say,
Is there any reasoning behind that?
you see, there are too many challenges in a country like ours, and then there's a lot of frustration, and then you vent it on the children.
You send the children home. I mean, I went to a boarding school in Nigeria, and the amount of times I was beaten. The times where I told myself, you know what, I'm not going to get beaten. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be on my best behavior.
Yeah.
But somehow the class will create a scenario where everybody gets beaten up. And I will get beaten as well.
But Monji, let me play a bit of a bad cop
devil
advocate. So we beating, spanking, flogging, like you said, that's really what we experience. We all experienced it growing up. It was normal to us. Did it work?
Did it work?
No,
it worked. Would you say it worked?
Did it work? I'm asking.
Okay, somehow. When I came to this country, I was.
Are we better off compared to this generation that don't get beat?
Well, listen. When I got to this country, I was afraid of authority for about a year because of all the beating I got. I swear.
Yeah.
I was because there were people in authority, and everybody I saw, the cops, my supervisor,
you think they were going to beat you?
No, I just felt that thing in my head where I am going to get punished or something for this. It took me about a year to get over that. So you damage a child when you do that.
The Bible says, there's a popular saying that goes, spare the rod and you spoil the child. Even in Oliver Twist, they were flogging.
Yeah.
In the old English, they do flog.
Everywhere. I mean, not just in
They
Nigeria,
do flog.
everywhere. But
You know, and then they say, apart from the spare the rod and spoil the child, in the Bible, they say, your rod shall comfort me.
Yeah.
Was that in Psalm
That's
23?
Psalm
You understand? So it's also there.
Okay,
your rod and staff will comfort me.
Comfort you, yeah.
So
I don't
but
think
you know
it
something.
was-
Yeah.
You're trying to say they don't mean it literally.
Yes.
But the fact is this. This is I don't believe in really spanking a child. You can have conversations.
There are ways you can deal
with your
with it, other
child.
ways.
But sometimes if you mistakenly woes your child, you say to him, then you come back and you say, I'm sorry I did that. I was just upset.
But you apologize to your child.
No, you apologize to your child. Listen. Okay, let me tell you. No. I'll tell you this.
The water was plenty.
Wait a minute.
Apologize to your child.
Kenny, I'll say this to you. You know why I was really so close to my father?
Yeah.
There was a time he apologized to me. A friend of his saw me and is like, wow, you've got this beautiful daughter and my son is looking for a wife. And then the son was in the UK. I was in Nigeria. Wait. And the mother said, no. I have to introduce my son to her.
Yeah.
I would like my son to marry her. And then the mother took my number, gave it to the son. The son started chatting me up and everything. And then I said, I don't want to be with him. And then, of course, he told his mom. And then the mom told my dad. And then my dad tried to convince me. And I said, Baba, you cannot do that. What if I don't feel anything? And then you're forcing me to follow him that he was going to bring me to the UK. I'm not into that because I'm already traveling out already because of the documentaries and everything else that I go when I travel out to do. And then my father just looked at me and said, Baba, you don't even know him. What if I go there, he seizes my passport, he treats me bad, blah, blah, blah. Why are you trying to force me into this relationship? And my father said to me, I am sorry. He actually said, forgive my stupidity.
Is that the only time your father ever apologized to you?
That one is the one you're
My father apologized to me. He said that. And my father never beat me.
My father, I can't remember a time my father.
But my mom beat me a lot.
But my mom, I can remember.
My mom beat me a lot.
Yeah, I remember.
My big brother, my
father and mother. They flogged you. Oh my God. Flogging was like.
But you didn't but you don't look like a child that was flogged. Because now you're speaking like what
I don't butty up now. I have butty up. Not that I brush me up.
This is now
Baby
boy for life.
Oh boy. No. I think it's an African parent thing, and I've got
yes,
kids.
yes.
Manji, I've got kids now.
Yeah. It's not the same
Do I
generation.
flog my kids?
No. I can.
Are you me?
You are not.
Why are you asking? Why are you asking for me, bro? Okay, let me ask you. Do I actually spank or flog or whip my kids? I've got one. There's one of them. There's one of them that the guy can frustrate.
Oh, we know what you're talking about then.
I have one.
The guy can frustrate the frustration out of my head. Sometimes.
No, but this is what I do to my kids. This is what I do. I'll tell you
Sometimes
this.
I cannot control it.
This is what I do.
will just come out.
No. This is what I do to my kids. I tell them, what do you want? Nigerian mom or UK mom? I said that to Edward. My first is going to be 9 in July. And I say to him, which do you want? UK mom or Nigerian mom? Tell me right now. He said, I want UK mom punishment, UK mom punishment. So UK mom punishment is face the wall.
Hey!
But the Nigerian punishment.
She picks up the nearest thing. And it could be a rod.
A slipper.
And it comes after me.
Oh no.
Rod chases me.
It's great, but I mean, coming back to the whole point now.
Yes.
What you've been able to establish is how all those experiences as a young person, those things you had to go through, and
sorry,
how they made
before
you
we
really
move on to that, I don't think it's a Nigerian thing actually, or an African thing. I think it's
the black thing.
It's a black thing because
Don't say that.
Okay, sorry, it's not a black thing, but it's more of our culture, regardless of where you are. Whether you're in America, you're in the UK, or you're in Nigeria.
Let me tell you something quickly. You see, these African American brothers, they never stand up to their mamas. They'll tell you they respect their mamas because, like, they spank them seriously.
Maybe
no matter how big the guy is, no matter how much money he makes, why I love them so much, they still bow down when they are in front of their mom.
It's still the same thing we're saying. It's about the African parents.
It's like the African more thing.
Yeah.
It
doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you're...
But
I don't want to say if you're black, but it's really... It's
an African thing.
It's an African thing.
But do we want to lose that, though?
I don't think we should lose it.
No.
So do we have to start apologizing?
No, listen. Time is moved on. You can't.
I spoke to you yesterday.
Child the way.
No, but you talk to, even when you spank the child, you talk to them.
But you have to apologize.
Make you understand. But then you would apologize to them.
Why did you spank
them
them
in
in
the
first
first
place?
Because it's got no. The Yorubas will say
Apologizing
no.
When I apologize to you, it means I realize that I have done what I shouldn't have done.
Listen, you're giving it too many meanings. You see, the Yorubas would
but
say,
it's true now,
the
because
Yorubas would say, "Ijo to mo ba do mi sílẹ̀, ijo ẹ̀kan ló ń nà." Àbí ijo tó bá dé kò sílẹ̀ wọ́n ń nà. But ijo tó wá do it simply means that when the child pours water on the floor, you don't beat him. Basically, you know, some of the time, like some children that we have, they are like really headstrong. He says, so the day he pours the pot of soup on the floor, you don't beat him. The day he pours the bottle of oil on the floor, the day he does really big things, you don't beat him. So, but when he now pours water on the floor, that is no big deal. You will now use the annoyance of all the many ones. Okay. Now use it to really give him enough
spanking. Especially with women. You will do all the bad things and she will ignore you. Then one day, you will just probably cross your leg the wrong way.
Open the can of worms.
My Igbo friend will say, if you want to know your shortcomings, criticize your wife just once. And then she will give you everything.
Okay, look, enough of all that. Let's come back to you. This is Heroes Diary. We're talking success. We're talking black people's success. And we've got a really young, successful... Young?
Oh, please! What do you mean?
And she will be forever young.
Now, women are always young.
We are young. No, me, I don't even agree. Just see as I arrange myself. Let you see me well.
That's it. All right, Rose. Let's okay, cool. Listen. You've been a pretty accomplished broadcaster. I interviewed so many dignitaries, so many people.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I need to say this. So when we were speaking about, and I was telling her about coming on the show, and one thing she said to me, which I found very combative. Yeah. It vexed me, It vexed me. Like, what's that? What are you talking? She was like, "Do you know I am a broadcaster? You know how many people I've interviewed? You think you can match me?" I said, "Oh my God, come on this show. Let us do it. Let us do it.
Called
maybe you interview."
Let me tell you. Let me explain something to you. Let me tell you something,
Yeah.
Do you know what I like to do in my life and why I've been able to get to where I am and the way I do things? I go downstream. I go to where, if I'm going to break it down, the cocoa of itself, where it's really happening, the core of it. Because there are certain things in life that are called truism. You cannot debate them. Like the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. So when you have things like that, like for me then, the NTA was the ultimate. There were all the television stations. And then you were not just part of the NTA, they groomed you how to be a presenter, how to speak, public speaking. So like if you see most people now who get on in front of the camera or the microphone, they just want to talk into the microphone without thinking, without calculating.
To be clear again for a lot of other people. So
yes.
NTA is the
Nigerian Television Authority.
So that's like
the BBC.
BBC of Nigeria.
Yes, the BBC. And then if you work with the BBC, of course, you know that they also train you. Yeah. So while we were there, the BBC also came to train us, of course, this resource materials. And then I was able to go to the broadcast college in Jos.
Right.
I was there for 10 weeks. I also went to France 24 because that was the France embassy in Nigeria. Also sent me to France 24 for some training. So you've got all these training things backed up, and you need them for what you do. And sometimes when you see some people say certain things or what they say online, and you go like, oh my God, what's happening? And with all these things trending, and you'll be like, did the white man or whoever, I don't glorify white people, that's just for some other day.
Come on.
So, because I don't think one race is better than the other race. So just leave that hanging. Now. But for me, I don't think whoever created the camera, social media, they spent sleepless nights doing all of those things, and they brought it to you people, and all you want to do is come up and say you are Abike Jagaban, and you say Aboloshi Nieni.
Okay, listen, so you've come from Nigeria after all that, many NTA trainings and all that sort of stuff, and then at what point did you come to the UK? What was your journey coming to the UK, and how hard, easy has it been, adapting all of that Nigerian skill, Nigerian knowledge, Nigerian awareness into practicing in the UK and obviously becoming accomplished in the UK?
Okay, one thing about the NTA, what they teach you, they teach you to be three-legged. You're going to be the producer, the presenter, as a matter of fact, the camera person, and then even the editor.
And maybe the audience. You know what I mean?
Now that's wicked.
You know what I mean?
So they teach you all the things to do. It's good, and in a way, it's not very helpful, because when you're watching foreign production, you see like 50 people on the production. Yeah. Like what you have here is beautiful, and I'm like, this is a wow. You've got a lot of hands. So it's good when you diversify these things, because one person is not an island of knowledge. So that is a producer, she's the makeup artist, and they are all experts in what they're doing.
I think the reason for that, because I studied filmmaking in university, and it's a case where you learn all these things that you can actually not necessarily do it.
Where did you learn that?
Thames Valley University, which is now West London University.
Okay.
And you learn that to actually understand that, okay, this is what this person does. And not, kind of just leave it back, and then you don't know what to do.
Just in case the other person is not around, so you know a bit of what they're doing. Yeah. That is pretty much good. It's pretty much good. But sometimes when you're left to do this thing all by yourself because of manpower, jack of all, and you're not allowed, I know what I'm talking about. But sometimes when they say, oh, the NTA is like this and it's like that, and I said, look at Nigeria as a whole is the problem of the NTA. But then when I now came into the UK, I actually came to the UK for a project, and then I met this young man in Brixton. I was lost. I was trying to get to Edgware, and then he said to me,
the sparks. I know
who is he today?
I said to him, please, can you tell me how to get to Edgware? Because I couldn't read the map. And then he said, oh, okay.
And ever since, he has been showing you where Edgware is.
And he said, okay, I just need to pick up a parcel and drop it. But don't worry. He was telling me, when you get on the Victoria line, and then that was all I heard, because I was just looking at his face. Why is this black man speaking English like Onyibo man? And all I was checking was his eyebrows.
And
all I heard was, when you get on the Victoria line.
They're not checking out.
But anyway, that day he took me. No. That day he took me to Edgware, and he bought me a ring.
He brought you to Edgware.
And then that was how I was able. He bought me a ring.
It's not like that for everybody,
And that was how I was. I then had to leave the NTA, and then I came to the UK. And
so was this guy? That was your story.
No, wait. But
you like crossing the Atlantic Ocean, Sahara Desert.
So everybody will get lost now.
No, we're trying to get to.
Wait,
this is Heroes Diary. This is your own Heroes Diary.
Wait! I'm not done. I came here to do something.
People like getting killed in France. Can lie to cross the Atlantic to get into the UK. Your own idea. Hey God, I want to be a woman.
I want to come out as a man. I mentioned that.
All right, just go on.
Because you want to have your hands in too many pies.
All right, just go on.
Okay, but anyway, so I actually came to work, to do some documentaries as usual, and to cover the event, the Zafra Awards. So after that, that didn't happen. I had to go back home. I had a show running, Sugar and Spice. That's where I met him and had an interview with him, and quite a number of artists like Ramsey Noah, Rita Dominic, and Gold. The late Gold. Okay. That's that. Yeah, there's something I have to say about Gold. You know her from On Kenny's Music, the musician.
Oh, that's the musician.
Yeah,
the late.
She had one of the best artist manager I have ever dealt with, and surprisingly, one of the artists, a big female artist now, she had the worst, but I'm not going to talk about that. This is just part of my experiences with artist managers and all those things. I was going to document them anyway, maybe in my blog sometimes soon. But you see, that was what I was doing, but then I now had to pack that up for family life. But then when I got here, I was then dragged into politics. I was doing entertainment in Nigeria. And I was dragged into politics, and then I did that report outside the Chatham House during the Jonathan and Buhari era. I went viral on Ben Television. Okay. You know, so then I came up with my own program. Then, of course, interviewing presidential candidates, ministers, so and the likes.
Now the big boy.
Yeah, they went to the big boy. If that's what you're gonna call it. But you see, where I then tend to go now is the United Nations. Right. That's where I'm targeting.
You're going bigger now.
Global. Ben TV platform, or is that?
Do you know why I like the Ben TV platform? It's because of the man behind Ben Television.
Shout out Alista. Which is gonna be on this seat very soon, man. Sir Alista, show your dick.
He's gonna if he
shout out, brother. Shout out, boss.
He's got it. But you see, there's one thing about Alistair. He's a remarkable human being. Wow. He's a fine gentleman. He is. You see, just himself alone, for the past 22 years, he has held on to to this black
Ben TV has actually been the only one. I mean, that's how I started with. The longest running African. For some reason, I know there's been listen. There's been AIT, there's been HITV, there's been
OTV, the Ghana TV.
Because they've come and gone because this is the United Kingdom. Having to get a satellite
TV,
TV
license, on Sky. Imagine, like you're paying close to 30,000 a month.
But for somehow,
he kept it running.
Ben TV has been running for 22 years. But
every day the lights have been on.
Shout out Alistair. I don't know how he's done it, but shout out.
You know, just for that is why I'm still staying strong. Things are not as rosy as it used to be, you know. And given the fact that Rosie, you know what I say to people, my name is Rose, but I know that life is not a bed of roses.
Not roses, is it? Yeah.
So then, like, a lot of people owe him in money. Even the Nigerian government, the NTA is even owing Ben Television money. I'm saying this live on direct. Let them hear me.
That's gonna find bodyguards.
You know, state governments are owing Ben Television money.
And if they, more schools.
If they pay up, I mean, look, if Ben Television was owned by China or Russia, or maybe others.
Everyone would have.
No. They're going to pop in so much money into it. Did I mention China, Russia? They are no friends of the Western world.
Oh, shit.
Anyway. It doesn't matter.
Just mention
but
Ukraine.
The fact is that even if it was...
Just to balance the equation.
If it was maybe an American that owned Ben Television, it wouldn't be where it is. So it really hurts me, and I don't know what the Nigerian community or the African community can do about this. And Ben Television needs all the support they can get. Alistair has done well, and Ben Television itself is a brand that is worth over £5 million. So
I mean, we just got to appreciate what Alistair has done, and it's great. It's part of what we're celebrating here. It's about heroes' diary. It's about black heroes. It's about people who have come from nothing and made something.
It should be on your show.
It is. But I'm 1,000,000% certain Mr. Alistair will be on here soon. He's a senior boss. He's a motivator. He's a mentor. He's everything. You know, we love what he's doing, and we love what you lot are doing, and that's why you're here.
Yes.
You know, because of all the great work that you have done and all that.
Yeah. Now I've moved on to Rose on All Sides. So we talked everything on Rose on All Sides. Right. I love what you're doing, Heroes Diary. We do a bit of that, but on Rose on All Sides,
you do more. Hey,
we never reach. Saying we do more. We're doing the same. I mean, I'm amazed with your technology, with your manpower, with your expertise. I love what I see.
I got some amazing guys.
I love the energy. I love the brilliance.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like
shout out Akpe, baddest cinematographer. But you see all this? You're looking at this shine.
Did you take the pictures?
You know, look at Mo, look at Ruben. Look at Ezra. Look at everyone.
I'm going to say this to you.
Oh,
was
crazy,
I
amazing,
guys. I learned this at the Cannes Film Festival. That's the biggest film festival in the world.
Yeah, of course.
It's happening in France. And
in
they're going to be having like maybe the 78th edition. I always go there when I was with the NTA. So when you're there, I mean, I saw Brad Pitt, Sharon Stone. There was a time we were waiting outside for Sharon Stone. Like, it was mad. Waiting for her to come up for the yacht. You know? And then we waited for so long. She refused to come out. But Beyonce, Jay-Z, they also come around. But that was when I fell in love with Brad Pitt. I never used to like him. And then we were waiting. So when he was done with his interview, he came out with George Clooney, John Cheadle, Andrew Garcia. That was the Ocean 11. So when they came out, and I screamed, and I said, Brad! And Brad Pitt turned around and he said, hello. And I'm like, oh my God, I almost fell. I was on the third floor. Brad Pitt said hello to me. And for me, I said, oh my God. You
didn't say hello back.
I was like, I couldn't get myself together. I was like, and my producer, Cosmos, looked at me and said, your head don't bah. I was like, no. I almost ran out of my head. And there was something else that happened that I never forget. And what's his name? Monsoon? You know him? Jim Monsoon. The guy in Blood Diamonds, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so he was coming with Kimora Lee. So when we were leaving the 21 famous red carpet of the Cannes Film Festival, so as we were walking down, they came late for the red carpet. So he was coming up with Kimora Lee, and then he saw me. And then he turned and looked at me. Oh my God,
so what an African beauty.
And then Kimora Lee was like, he didn't stop maybe because, beautiful. I think he stopped he was like, oh,
you just say what an African beauty. What an African beautiful.
No.
Can you imagine with his wife there?
No, wait. The reason he stopped and looked at me was like, there was a sea of white faces.
Yeah.
And there was just this brown girl.
This is black.
Am I black?
A
black girl.
Okay, let's just call it black. Let's don't go into that. Don't go into all that. Let's not go into all that.
Is that why he
sorry. No, and then he looked back and like my sister sort of.
Ooh.
Like that's how I saw him.
Game recognized game.
That's what I saw. Like he stopped and then looked at me. I was like, and I smiled at him and then he smiled. And Kimora Lee didn't really take that nicely.
So you see, it's not about being the only brown face there.
And I just smiled, and then of course they just left. But this is part of the experiences I'm able to
the kind of experiences that your success brings to you, your level of success and stuff like that.
I would not take it for granted. And another thing I really, really love about it, you then get to meet with some of the Nigerian ministers that come in, RMD, you just be like,
shout out RMD,
our chairman,
everyone, so you sit with them, you're talking, having interviews, even go into their bedrooms, because you know why?
You going to where?
You go into their bedrooms with your cameraman. Don't have ideas. Thank you.
When he said it, just left it.
And you don't left it.
No.
Let the cameraman part.
No. I'm sorry. What I mean by that is this. There was a situation in Cannes that year. It was fully booked. There was no accommodation.
Right.
Because if you do not book like 9 or
it's
a year before, you can't get some accommodation. So what happened with Uncle RMD that year was that maybe his arranged people in charge of his bookings when unable to get him the hotel rooms for like 5,000 euros. Obviously. You understand? So maybe he couldn't get a place. Then there was this apartment that he got, like a family apartment. So then he'll come show you, because we're doing behind the scenes, something like that. So you can get into where he's staying. This is the space I was able to get. It was so natural. Yeah. You understand? Of course, and he's such a down-to-earth and amazing human being. So with my cameraman and editor, we're able to go in there to speak to him, just to talk about the condition. If you, what's the word? If you don't book in time to get a place at the Cannes Film Festival. That's one. And something else, when you go to the Cannes Film Festival, the more showy you get, the more business you get to do. And then one other thing I tend to learn about going to the Cannes Film Festival is that is where the politics of filmmaking
happens.
is discussed.
Obviously, yeah.
So
it's
even,
one of the,
even for the Oscars, you go there, you make your presence felt. And that is why I will give it up to Mr. Afolabi Adesanya. They go and they make presence. And of course, Peace, the African Movie Academy Award. May God rest her soul. May God rest her soul. We just lost Peace a few months ago. She is so amazing.
Superwoman.
You know what? She pays for sometimes she pays for my ticket, my cameraman, and everyone to France, to Canada, to the
organizer of the organizer of the African Movie Academy Awards.
So she sponsors us. She sponsors my crew sometimes. The film and see video sponsors. So we get sponsors from Air France. When we do all of this thing. So when she gets there, she makes Nigeria looks larger than life.
Come on.
I mean, we lost an amazing person.
Peace is actually known for that. Before she started Armor and everything, why people actually supported Armor was because she had done so much for so many people in the industry. And they supported her on the first one. And then it went on from there. I think they're on their 14th installment.
I think 14th.
It's been quite a journey.
Yeah. Shout out Peace. May God rest her soul in peace. I mean, it was a shock to everyone in the industry when it happened last October.
I mean, I would always remember her for the great, marvelous things.
Everybody actually has a story to tell
about her. And I was listening to the governor of Lagos State, Sanwo-Olu. I can't forget. Oh my goodness, the accent is going.
British nice.
I was listening to him and on channels, and he even mentioned her. That of course he works with her for. Obviously,
I mean, she's very instrumental too. You wouldn't talk Nollywood African or Nigerian cinema particularly without mentioning Peace. I am Osigwe.
You still work for Ben TV, right?
Yes, I still work for Ben.
Are you looking to still stay there, or are you going to do your own thing? Or?
I'm gonna develop content and put them on Ben Television. So
you're gonna produce your own thing and
no, that's what I do now. I produce my own content. Okay. But you see, for that passion and that drive to make Nigeria better, I'm not into Lamborghini. It was one of the things we were talking about when you see yourself as successful. There were some things I needed to do about my brand, and then someone called me up today and told me how disabled children are suffering in Nigeria, and then how sometimes their parents allow them to die because they are no one is supporting them. The government doesn't support. And then my spirit says, okay, you're going to spend this money on these frivolous things. Why don't you just divert it to them? So for me, I'm thinking about when we were talking about how successful you are in your career or whatever, but then it's also how you've been able to impact people's lives. You see, Miley Cyrus, you look at Miley Cyrus and you'd be like, she's got some certain questionable character, but she's one of the biggest stars who's into charity. In America, of course. You being successful, you're successful for yourself. How are you impacting the lives of other people? You understand? So if you're doing that, don't do that like the book of Matthew says to us, like for people to see you. And it's just for you to impact, to touch people's lives, because you were privileged, you've been blessed, you've been lifted. The universe has opened to you and has smiled to you. You should extend that to someone else.
Super, super, super amazing. In this little time, you've taken us pretty much around the world, Rose. Amazing stuff. Listen, but what's that young guy or girl, like say in Africa and all these kind of places, who have all these dreams, who wants to go to all these places that you have been, who wants to achieve, who wants to meet with people, who wants to bam, who wants to roll with it, you know what I mean?
Who wants to roll with the G-boys?
What would you say to them is the way to track this journey?
The late Abamieda said something. A fool at 14 is a fool forever.
40 will die.
No. He's actually using 40. He's actually 14.
Wow, 14, okay.
But it is 14. Take it. Let me tell you something. Okay. Do you know, you should have a dream.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even flog myself. This isn't about me, but this is about young people in Africa, generally. Is you need to connect to the universe.
Wow.
You need to visualize where you want to be. That is how it worked for me. You say, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do.
Right.
just put it out there in the universe, and then you start working towards it. I know they talk to you about a 10-year plan of the, but this is it. For me, you visualize it, and then you walk through it. You just don't let yourself to be distracted. I will tell you this. There's a girl, I will not mention her name. She's so beautiful. When we're in year 1 in Unilag, oh my God, have you seen Bakassi? Bakassi was like that.
Shit.
So you know what? She took a liking to me when I got into Unilag. But then she started taking me to different places, to meet rich guys and the likes.
Aristotle.
And then I was like, girl, I'm forced to call her name now. I said, girl, this isn't why I got into school. I know where I'm coming from. I've got to focus, and I know what I want to do. Right. I don't want to be distracted, because as a young girl in Nigeria, we've been molested, we've been harassed, raped, and we have our stories. All of those things, I didn't allow them to deter me. I've got my stories in terms of rape. I've got my story in terms of harassment, molestation.
Right.
I've slapped a boss before.
Wow.
I've lost several contracts because I refused to, sponsorship when I was with Galaxy Television before I got into the NTA, and things like that. But it is focus. Just be focused, believe in yourself, and just keep going.
Especially as a woman.
There's too many challenges. For those who fall by the wayside, do not blame them. It wasn't easy, but just be focused. And all those distractions you see that you see on social media today, some of them are just heartbreaking. And you'd be like, why are these girls doing this? There's so much you can do with your life. As a human being, you are an entity. There's so much you have within you that you can project out there, and people would see you and say,
And they will learn.
You
don't have to sell yourself as a woman. You don't have to trade your values. You don't have
you see Asha today. Do you know what's the name of that guy? There's this musician in Nigeria. Is Olamide's musician. Portable. There was this interview. Granted. And then he said, who would you like to sing with? He said, Asha. Look at Asha. She's unique. She's different. She's distinct. She's decent. You understand? So this is not sex tape kind of a thing. It's like, just be focused.
Okay.
Focused, know where you're going.
All right, let's not go into...
I totally agree. That focus is key. Focus, be consistent, be disciplined, be consistent, and you'll get there. Just keep going, because at the end of the day...
just be going. Like Johnny Walker.
Just keep going, because...
Come on, Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Come on, Johnny Walker. They're calling you.
I like that.
How it is. Let's chip it in there.
I've been drinking in the last past hour, 30 minutes.
We're checking on you.
You're checking on me. Are you guys checking on me?
On a final note.
Who I want to work with in life. I want to work with Christina Amanpour. I want to work with Richard Quest. And then what's the name of this guy?
We don't ask who. We didn't ask who. But she's put it out there.
But I'm telling you, what's the name of this guy that was against this girl that married them? What's his name? Prince Harry, Meghan Markle. This guy that is Piers Morgan. I love him. He had fantastic documentaries on Netflix. I want to work with him for 1 year for free. If your program can take me there, I'll
get it. So
this is with him 1 year. I wouldn't collect a dime.
Who knows what she wants.
Exactly.
Clearly, if you are watching out there, you young people
and
watching
I'm also
out there,
putting it out in the universe.
You want to borrow a lead from this. She's not coming and saying you have to da. It's just putting it out there, having this clear vision and putting it out to the universe and let the universe take its course. Rose, listen. One final question we always ask our hot guest on the hot seat, like a hot babe that you are hotting up, hotting up everywhere. Monji, are you not feeling the heat?
I'm feeling it. Oh, shit. I'm burning up.
I'm boiling.
I can feel it.
I'm vibing the heat. It's like this, But so essentially what it is so this is Heroes Diaries, a celebration of Black success and celebration of Black successful people who are running things. Who's the hero that you want to see on that set?
Yeah, I want to see Alistair Shoyede.
I knew it. I knew that is what you would talk. 100%.
The boss himself.
Sir Alistair Shoyede. Sir. If they never give you Sir, I'll give you that sir.
Yeah.
You get it? Yeah. We are having you here soonest. Because the world wants to hear from you. What that secret recipe That's kept Ben TV running for 22 years
Yes.
in UK. Listen, Rose, you've been so amazing. Rose Pretty Graham, check her out. Follow her on what's your Instagram handle and everything?
I actually put Rose on all sides in there. I'm actually not big on social media, but I think I really need to look into that.
You need to look into that.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah, but on Facebook, I know.
Your own audience. In this day and age now where you have Instagram.
Everyone, I mean, the world is in our fingertips, so we should do that. But I've been changing nappies, so you should understand.
Love to our women. Shout out to all our women out there. Really love you guys. An amazing episode. Another amazing episode in the bag. Shout out Monjaro. Monjaro. This is a Nollywood superstar. Decided to grace our screen today and guest us all. Monji, shout out to you, man. Much love and much respect for coming. Amazing stuff. Rose Peter Graham, really chop it.
Thanks for this.
You got it.
Over 10 years, I haven't seen here, and you created the platform. It's beautiful.
Yeah, let's clink it. Let's clink it. Confirm. Nah, so thank you very much.